Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Day 129. I was just thinking about my dad. My dad was always this jolly bloke. Whenever you saw him, he'd always have a smile on his face. He would have a pipe in his mouth or a cigar on the go at some point in time, and if not, a glass of port, a glass of whiskey of an evening time. He was a chef, most definitely, but he was a great deal more than that. He was also a veteran of World War II under Burma. And he was also a boxer. He boxed both pro-am and semi-professionally as well. Now, I remember back in 1974, I was only 7 years old. My dad said I had to listen to with him what he said was one of the most iconic fights that was ever to be fought. It was Muhammad Ali versus George Foreman. And it was held in Kinshasa in Zaire, and it was better known as the Rumble in the Jungle. And this was aired at some daft time in the morning over here, and I think it was on television, I can't quite remember, but I definitely remember it on the radio, and it was this crackly, sort of like medium wave, in-out, sort of like whirring, but you could hear the boxing match, you could hear the commentator, Harry Carpenter, frankly sort of like going through punch by punch and blow by blow from Ali through to Foreman through to Ali. It was an absolute spectacle. But my dad said there was a lot more to it than this. There was a lot more riding on it. He personally said that he thought Ali was the greatest fighter in the world and a man much misunderstood. And he said behind all that bravado is a man who is running and hiding from something, or is trying to find his way through in a different way. And to some degrees he was right. Cassius Clay had a very hard upbringing, very tough time, and had to fight for everything they got in life. And my dad said it's always a good lesson to learn that if you have to fight for something, you appreciate a damn sight more. Or if you have to fight against something, you find a better chance of winning and getting through the opposite side of it. I was a lucky kid in a lot of respects. I was an only child. In fact, I have a half brother. I had a half brother, but my mum and dad met a lot later on in life, and they had me a lot later. And I was quite mollycoddled, and I used to live in a real bubble. I used to do whatever I liked, but I never found comfort in doing whatever I liked. And when I felt sad, I used to eat, and that to me helped me put on weight. I lost weight again when I was 15 to 16, just so I could prove myself, and I did. I got on with my life, and still, after I'd proved myself a bit, and I sadly had an accident and had to curtail my career at that point in time, I put weight back on again and ballooned because I took solace in eating. And I met Julie, and I've lost weight again. I put a little bit back on, but that's something I have to shift myself. That was my lockdown poundage, I call it. But I've got to get rid of that. But I think tonight's thing is, if you've got someone like a dad who shows you the value of what fighting for something means and fighting for a cause, be that fighting for your family, fighting for your country, fighting for the lost cause, the great St. Judes of this world who fight against hope itself in the effort to try and give somebody value, then do that. Don't be afraid to fight your corner for yourself, for your family, or for others. Till tomorrow, look after yourselves and keep that fight up, because if you're fighting for others, you're a great person. Till then. I'll switch the camera off in a minute, promise.